Hello and welcome to DD India. I am Arnold Thomas and you're watching Voice of the Global South, a show that brings to you stories, news, achievements and concerns along with aspirations of the developing world. India's democracy shines as the Election Commission of India hosts 75 delegates from 23 nations, showcasing our electoral transparency. The representatives of different regions across the globe gain insights into EVM, VVPAT and witness firsthand the intricacies of India's democratic process. India's electoral model has set a benchmark for global democracies.
The entire world is witnessing India's largest festival of democracy as over 970 million eligible voters cast their vote this summer. Elections are being conducted in 7 phases till the 1st of June, with results scheduled to be declared on 4th of June. As India's general elections grab global attention, the Election Commission of India recently rolled out the red carpet for international guests with its International Election Visitors Program, welcoming 75 delegates from 23 countries. While addressing the delegates, Chief Election Commissioner Shri Rajiv Kumar highlighted how India's electoral system and the work of the Election Commission of India stand out in the world of democracy.
It's a matter of great pleasure and satisfaction that on our invitation, the international visitors from 23 countries, more than 75 in number, are here to witness, to do as a visitor our elections. And this is in line with our established policy of disclosing, working from the position of strength, that we have nothing to hide. We have nothing to hide, so we are inviting them. We are saying go to the booths. They are going to 5 cities, 5 states, and they will go even to the booths to see how democratic festival is being celebrated in India in a transparent manner.
Among the foreign delegation were chief election commissioners and members of electoral bodies from a diverse range of countries, including Bhutan, Mongolia, Georgia, Chile, Maldives, Fiji, Bangladesh, Australia, and more. The delegates were also briefed on various aspects of Indian General Elections 2024, including EVM, VVPAT, IT initiatives, role of media, and social media. Participants also had the opportunity to observe live polling during Phase 3 in various states, enhancing their first-hand experience of the electoral process. India's ongoing general elections have garnered global attention, highlighting India's commitment to democratic principles and transparency in its electoral process. The participation of delegates from diverse countries underscores the significance of sharing experiences and best practices in democracy. Through initiatives like the International Election Visitors Program, India reaffirms its role as a beacon of democracy, showcasing its electoral system and inviting scrutiny and learning from the global community.
The Election Commission of India has always advocated the need for international cooperation.
Interim President Mohammad Idris Deby is declared winner in the latest presidential elections held in Chad, the first after 3 years of military rule in Africa's Sahel region. Voting for the presidential polls ended on May 6th, making Chad's junta the first of its coup-hit countries in West and Central Africa to stage a return to constitutional rule via the ballot box.
With over 61% votes, Mohammad Idris Deby Tono emerged as the winner of the presidential elections in Chad, marking victory for the 34-year reign of the Deby family to continue. Chad becomes the first of several countries where the military has seized power in West and Central Africa in recent years to hold elections and restore civil rule. The top opposition candidate could garner only 18.53% of the required 50% to win, and some of them cried foul, stating vote rigging issues. Muhammad Debi took over as interim president after his father and long-time ruler Idris Debi was killed in 2021 while visiting troops fighting rebels in the north. He initially promised an 18-month transition to elections but later postponed the vote and amended laws to allow himself to rule. 3 years after the military leader seized power, Chad on May 6 held its first presidential election in Africa's Sahel region since a wave of coup. To avoid post-election protest, heavy security was ensured with large number of security forces deployed. Soldiers and riot police patrolled the streets alongside at least 30 armored and other military vehicles ahead of the results announcement. After voting had closed and counting began, an unidentified gunman opened fire at a polling station in Mondo City, killing one voter. Election results were announced 2 weeks earlier than expected.
Voters came out in force to vote for the candidate of their choice, and we were also able to witness the deployment, which went well.
Members of the nomadic communities in Chad expressed disappointment after failing to cast their ballot. Nomads that comprise of 7.5% of Chad's population could not cast a single vote as no polling facilities were set up in their camps despite promise by the officials.
During the campaigns, people come here and we told them that we could vote for the president, and we even raised awareness among others by camelback. But today no one has brought us a polling station or people to show us where to vote. They bring here liars who come to promise anything and then leave. They promised us that we could have polling stations here this year, but no one has come back to bring us polling stations. And until now, no one from this camp has voted, even though we are many like an entire neighborhood.
Experts claim that disputed results of the elections have compromised the credibility of the process. These elections are closely observed by the international community as other junta in the Sahel region have asked the Western powers to withdraw and turn to Moscow for support. Chad remains the last Sahel state with French military presence. With a population over 17 million and one of the world's least developed countries, Chad has not seen a fair transfer of power since independence in 1960. The country in the global south region has suffered multiple disturbances, including climate change, fuel heat waves, and a refugee crisis linked to the civil war in Sudan.
Tensions are on the verge of escalating between Cambodia and Vietnam as China tries to expand its footprint in Southeast Asia by funding a canal upgrade in the Mekong River. The project has also raised concerns among environmentalists about the damage it can cause to agricultural productivity and water availability in the region.
Cambodia has planned to upgrade the canal connecting the Mekong River basin to the Cambodian coast. The infrastructure project funded by China has raised concern about its environmental impact on Vietnam's Rice Bowl region. The Vietnamese authorities have voiced alarm at potential damage to the already fragile Mekong Delta, a massive rice-producing region supporting millions of people downstream in Vietnam. Currently, about 33% of cargo to and from Cambodia use Vietnamese ports for their global trade by sending them through the Mekong River. The Deputy Prime Minister stated that once the 4-year project is completed, it will reduce that number to 10%, which would represent a 70% drop on current shipping volumes.
Funan Daeju Canal project is historic project for Cambodia. It will be a game changer for inland waterway transport in Cambodia. Through this canal, we can ship cargo goods from our freshwater port to our sea without going through the third country port.
Meanwhile, the project has sparked concern from environmentalists who have expressed reservation that the project could negatively impact the Mekong Delta. The Deputy Prime Minister refuted these claims and said that the canal would be used for land irrigation and fishing. He added the canal's shorter route to the sea for barges and ships from and to Phnom Penh carrying textile and raw material would reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
This project, I stated early on, that is to help prevent flood and also will benefit the 1.6 million Cambodian living along the canal for having better irrigation to use for the agriculture project.
In an attempt by China to increase its geopolitical influence by increasing its presence in other nations, the canal will be developed by a major Chinese state-owned construction company which will fully cover its costs under an agreement with the government of Cambodia in exchange for a multi-decade concession. Experts in the regions claim that the new Mekong Canal is in line with China's debt trap diplomacy that it has followed previously in initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative. The project has the potential to reignite tensions between Cambodia and Vietnam, which are close partners but have often clashed. Besides geopolitical tensions with Vietnam and environmental damage because of the construction of the canal, it will also have significant economic impact that Cambodia should be wary about.
We'll take a small break here and be back with more. See you on the other side.
India that invents. India that innovates. India that excites. India that invites. Land of possibility. Teeming with opportunities. Watch India Ideas each Thursday 8 p.m. only on DD India.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights and authentic information.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India and this is Voice of the Global South. Well, moving on to South America, devastating floods in Brazil have taken over 100 lives and displaced thousands, leaving critical infrastructure in paralysis. Stranded families desperately await aid while rescue efforts face immense obstacles. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva promises federal support as survivors share tales of resilience.
Across the southern Brazilian state of Rio Grande do Sul, catastrophic floods have inflicted immense suffering. With a death toll of over 100,000 rendered homeless, the scale of this disaster is staggering. Amidst the chaos, families find themselves stranded, desperate for essentials like food and shelter.
We have been without food for 3 days and we have only just got this blanket. I am with people I don't even know. I don't know where my family is. I just have to thank God for getting all this here.
Floodings from storms have destroyed roads and bridges in several cities while triggering landslides and the partial collapse of a dam at a small hydroelectric power plant. The flooding not only disrupted air travel but also paralyzed vital infrastructure, leaving the region grappling with enormity of the disaster.
I need a lot of help. A lot. We have nowhere to sleep and nothing to eat. We have nothing.
Rescue teams are mobilizing to evacuate those who are marooned by the rising waters. Yet, with critical infrastructure damaged, reaching those in need remains a formidable challenge.
We need some resources, such as the cards that the city hall is releasing, to get water or hygiene kits or cleaning kits and mattresses, which people will need to return home right away.
Inundated towns have become makeshift islands as rescue boats navigate through submerged streets, tirelessly searching for survivors. Amidst the hard-hitting situation, a wheel loader driver, Daniel Farias, has put all his resources and energy into rescuing and helping survivors like himself.
Until the last hour, until the last second, until the last moment that these waters recede, I won't switch off the wheel loader. I'll be there constantly to rescue and search for people.
President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva pledged for federal assistance, acknowledging the magnitude of what is being termed as Rio Grande do Sul's worst climate-induced catastrophe.
I put all of them on my helicopter. We came here so that we could have a glimpse, a bit of the meaning of the flood together with the governor. So we saw the damage that the rain is causing and has already caused. It's affecting the city of Porto Alegre, the state of Rio Sul.
As the floodwaters slowly recede, it serves as a stark reminder of the growing threat posed by extreme climate conditions in Brazil and beyond. The road to recovery will be long, but amidst the devastation, there is hope. Together, they stand as a beacon of strength and solidarity, embodying the spirit of resilience that will guide the people through this darkest hour and towards a brighter tomorrow.
While Nigeria is struggling to contain a Lassa fever outbreak in the country, more than 100 people have died in January and Feb, and there have been more than 5,600 suspected cases of the disease this year. Health experts are urging the government to accelerate efforts in tackling the disease while also working towards vaccines. DD India's correspondent Ajak Magut reports.
James Bulus is storing harvested guinea corn in this tiny shop. He's putting down poison to keep vermin away from his grains.
We are worried about getting Lassa fever because we store our farm produce at home, and there are a lot of rats that come in here.
Food contaminated by infected rats causes Lassa fever, an acute viral hemorrhagic disease. Nigeria has had outbreaks of the virus since the first case was recorded in the late 1960s. Health authorities say more than half of Nigeria's 36 states have recorded at least one case of the disease this year.
We're losing a lot of healthcare workers. We are losing innocent people in the rural areas who come into contact with these, rodents, which is the carrier of the virus. Most diseases that are related with vectors and also with change in climate and increase in population are usually very difficult to control.
Nigeria's Center for Disease Control says public health emergency operation centers have been activated at both national and state level to respond to cases. This involves the detection and monitoring of outbreaks, lab testing, public education and personal hygiene, food safety and rodent control in homes and workplaces. Experts argue that the government needs to improve these measures while it works to get vaccines available.
What Nigerian government needs to do to effectively control Lassa fever is to, first of all, strengthen surveillance and then increase our capability to treat cases. At the same time, to improve risk communication with those living in hotspots in highly endemic areas, and rapid movement to acquire this vaccine.
There's currently no available shots against Lassa fever, but Nigeria's government says it is working to develop one.
Officials at the Ministry of Health say a special task force comprising the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, and foreign partners are already conducting studies on the disease, but it could take years for a vaccine to materialize.
Until then, Nigerians like James will have to keep doing what they can to protect themselves against the virus. Ajak Mangut in Abuja, reporting for DD India.
The environmental footprint left by humans has made it extremely necessary to search for different ways to end or least minimize it. Taking a step towards reducing the impact of climate change in urban areas, Argentina has developed a liquid tree capable of converting carbon dioxide to oxygen. It is 10 to 50 times more efficient than a natural tree in purifying the air.
Argentina, Latin America's second largest country, is home to one of the major economies. Rapid industrial development in the country has given rise to the need for safeguarding public and environmental health. Poor air quality in the region is prominent due to changes in the climate. In order to combat the rising air pollution created by expansion of cities, scientists of different organizations have collaborated to create a liquid tree. Experts from a research institute, Y-Tech, work together in the Biodiversity and Biotechnology Research Institute to develop the device Y-Algae.
It is an iconic project. We made an extremely attractive and eye-catching reactor to communicate to the community about the advances of Argentine technology in algal biotechnology and to raise awareness of emerging environmental technologies.
Y-Algae is a photobioreactor that utilizes the ability of native microalgae to remove carbon dioxide from the air and produce oxygen in urban areas. As part of their experiment, the scientists installed 2 prototypes of the photobioreactor, one in Argentina's capital and another in an industrial plant on the outskirts of Buenos Aires.
Our reactors in the Y-Algae project are built to be installed in urban environments, in places that are completely paved, altered by human activity, where it is not possible to plant a tree, let alone on a large scale. So we always say that we plant a tree where it is possible to plant a tree, but where it is not possible, we have this option.
Y-Algae is the first ever project in Argentina to use climate change mitigation strategy technology. It uses microscopic organisms, microalgae, as the active component. The device, through photosynthesis, harnesses the energy provided by sunlight or artificial light to convert carbon dioxide into oxygen and biomass that can then be reused in fertilizers, biofuels, and concrete structures. The liquid tree claims to capture about 0.5 metric ton of carbon dioxide per year.
Microalgae are microorganisms that appeared on Earth approximately 3 billion years ago. They are the first oxygenic photosynthetic organisms that developed the atmosphere as we know it today. Even today, they contribute 50% of the oxygen we breathe.
To calculate the amount of carbon dioxide captured, you measure the amount of biomass you get at the end of the cycle. Over a year, you capture about 0.5 metric ton of carbon dioxide per device.
Air pollution is one of the major health concerns for South Americans. Most countries and cities in the global south do not have standards for fuel efficiency, vehicle emissions, or fuel quality, which are basic for creating a cleaner environment. Such a step is a great deal of progress for the global south nations in creating a healthy living atmosphere. Liquid Tree is directed towards addressing the problem for people in densely populated areas where mass plantation of trees is a difficult task due to urbanization.
Well, that's it in this edition of The Voice of Global South. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available both on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. You can also connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. Also check out our website ddindia.co.in. From the entire team, goodbye, take care.